Now you want to know what a rant is? My rant is what I did on Aries Spears. I got off that so-called interview. I talked to him for 2 minutes before I said, "You man," I hung up. I spent an hour complaining about this yelling. You won't believe what this did to me. Hey everyone, Double Toasted live in Las Vegas is coming up very soon, October 8th. Join us for a night of comedy, music, games, and a big after party. This is going to be our first time doing a show in Las Vegas, so it's going to be a very special night for us, and we want to share it with you. And if you've never been to a Double Toasted show, ask anybody. It's tons of fun. It's just like one big party that we're sharing with friends. And like I said, we want you to be there. So go get your tickets now by going to x1entertainment.com. This is something weird that happened to me. Ryan Hamilton, who's a toaster that sends me a lot of stuff every day, and I appreciate it. I actually love all the stuff he sends. Even if I don't respond to you, Ryan, you keep me busy, man, reading all this stuff. Always interesting. Never a dull moment with you, all the things that you send me. But this one got my attention. So I'm over in Istanbul, and I'm having a good time, enjoying myself. And I said, you know what? And then he sends me an email, and I said, this is why I can't leave the country, man. I leave the country to go to Istanbul. It's not even a full 2 weeks before I hear that Tiffany Haddish and my old pal Aries Spears raping these kids. Okay, rape might be a strong word, but they are using the word groom right now.
Yeah.
Which is a buzzword for some sort of pedophilia or weird behavior that you should not be having with kids out there. So this is, okay, you want to know about this? Because you guys don't know about this.
Yeah, because I first read it and it said rape, and I was like, all right, do these two people even know each other? Then later it said grooming. Then later I was looking down, okay, so what's the evidence? And it was just like, well, it's an accusation. And I was like, oh, well, why not waste my time on that?
The last thing I read was that Aries Spears made fun of Lizzo, and I didn't know that. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
so
was
what's?
the last
I was
thing
like, wait a minute, what's all this about?
First of all, Aries Spears, I'm gonna try to go into this as with as little bias as I can, because Aries Spears, I don't know what he's like as a person to just hang around, you know. But Aries Spears is the worst interview I've ever had, if you could even call it an interview. I've never talked to someone who did not give a about promoting a shitty movie anyway, which is probably what it was. He's probably, I don't care about this movie, but damn, if they put you, an agency got on the phone with me and made me get in touch with this man, and he could care less about talking to me. He was distracted by everything else but me. You know, he was. You could hear him yelling that shit in the hallway. He was talking to his assistant. I don't know who he was talking to. And by the way, once I told somebody else about this, who was in a high-ranking position with a certain platform, they told me, yeah, no, because I was like, man, you know what? I'm just rambling. I'm being an asshole right here. Like, no, you ain't being an asshole. Aries Spears is, man. This dude, they said we had the same experience with him in a different way. They said this man ain't got shit going on. And yet he tries to go around and he's messy. He act like he ain't got time for people. And now a lot of things are coming out about, especially Aries Spears, where it's like, man, this guy is just, people just don't like this dude now. And I read one site called Bossip, if y'all keep up with that. I like Bossip.
Bossip, yeah.
Bossip had me laughing. Bossip called Aries Spears. They said, sentient dust mite Aries Spears.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
Boy, I wish I could show you some of the tweets that went out there, because Aries Spears tried to talk about Lizzo, and he tried to talk about women in general being overweight. And they said, you the last person to be talking about somebody being overweight and not looking very good. I went on, I wish I could, this is a different story, but if y'all could find those tweets, they went off on Aries Spears, man, about that. But that had nothing on what was going on with this story right here. So I thought the same thing that you thought, like accusations, but apparently these are very strong accusations. So what's weird about this story is that, and I'm not coming in trying to have any strong opinions about these people just as of yet, because I don't really know how much of this is going to continue to come out. But what's come out is pretty fucking weird at this point. So the reason why they were accused of grooming is because they made this comedy sketch with these little kids. And the comedy sketch does deal with pedophilia. So they're gonna make us some pedophilia jokes, except that they made these kids do like some really crazy and just kind of cringy sexual things, man. And this is the Daily Beast right here. The Daily Beast kind of described the sketch, which I don't know if these can even get me in trouble reading about this, but there's also example or not example, but there's proof that this sketch existed. Let's see here. So it was the mother of these two kids, I think, is suing at this moment. And it says, and at the time, these kids were very young. And it said both siblings allegedly attended this shoot for this skit that they were doing, which the lawsuit claims took place in Spears' home. Jane and Haddish's behavior changed once the children arrived at the home. I guess Jane is one of the kids, no longer in the company of their mother. It was like a whole 180 almost, she told Daily Beast. Tiffany had never been mean to me, never raised her voice to me until this point. According to the lawsuit, the children were separated during the shoot. Jane recalls that Haddish told her to remain on the couch downstairs while her brother's shoot took place upstairs. And in this sketch, I'm just going to speed through some of this. Aries Spears plays a pedophile. John spends most of the video clad in only his underwear as Spears' character leers at him through two holes cut into a newspaper. He pretends to read. During the sketch, the camera zooms in suggestively to the 7-year-old's buttocks and the crotch while he plays. Spears he sprays baby oil on the child's back and massages it into his shoulders in one scene. And at another point, the child plays with the train in a manner that suggests phallic masturbation. In another sequence, Spears smokes a cigarette while observing the child nude in the bathtub and pours water on his feet. By the time the video ends, the child is peering at his babysitter through a newspaper and rubbing baby oil on his shirtless shoulder. The final line of the on-screen text reads, "Watch who you leave your kids with." So not only does it sound like a lame-ass sketch, but a lot of shit that you don't need to be doing with kids, whether it's under the guise of comedy or, in this case, lack thereof or not.
Where's the joke?
Well, apparently the joke's on these two for pulling this shit, because it goes on further that these kids felt uncomfortable, and Tiffany Haddish was like, "Well, you want to be an actor, you acting like this, you can't do it. You got to do what you're told. You'll never make it acting like this." So now these kids are traumatized, and at first there was doubt whether this skit even took place or not. But Funny or Die had the skit back in 2018, they said, "Yeah, fuck this." They said, "We didn't know that this existed." It was kind of put on the site as user submitted content, and once we saw it, we took it down because it was weird and it was distasteful. So I'm just looking at this, and I don't know where this is going to go. But hearing this kind of because I don't know if there's going to be people out there talk about, well, it's a joke, it's comedy, anything goes. But man, as I told you, my opinion of comedy is, there are points where you just try to shock instead of telling a joke. And it's one thing to do shocking material that's not even funny, or you just doing it for shock, just for shock value's sake. But it's another when you bring kids into it, man. There's a reason why they don't shoot certain things certain ways in movies. There's a reason why people use adults in comedy sketches when the subject matter might be kids, but you don't want to shoot that shit when it is kids. I don't know. I don't know if this is enough to get them. And this is the other thing that stop jumping down, goddammit. Everybody talks about canceled now. There was a time when cancel wasn't canceling somebody. It was just like you just did something fucked up.
Yeah.
And you need to go somewhere for a little while. And if that's the case with this, I would, first of all, like I said, y'all know I don't like Aries Spears anyway. That just seemed desperate. But yeah, man, if you're putting kids in this kind of situation, and it's just now coming out that these kids are still traumatized after this, that's a take a break moment. That's time for you to like maybe, get out the public eye for a little bit, because I had to ask myself, it just comes down to one simple thing. Y'all know I do some crazy shit. Would I do something like, I would never put kids in a position like that. You know, where where I'm shooting something that's sexual. Yeah, I don't. In fact, it brings me to a point where if this really happened, it's like, what the fuck were you thinking doing that? I don't know, but maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm not getting the whole story yet. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What I guess, was there like a contract and how they use the kids? I mean, were the parents aware of what the skit was and everything? I guess that'd be one of my first questions, because they're suing Aries. I assume Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish, for damages.
Yeah, but you can sue anybody for anything.
No, I know exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I'm thinking like, okay, what grounds they have on it? What I think what this will eventually do, this will just bring up everything else that Aries Spears has also done, and just make them like, wow, this guy looks like a piece of shit. And people that don't already like Tiffany Haddish, they'll be like, well, there you go, another reason to not like her. But what most likely will happen though, after they've been canceled or whatever you want to say, I can see like, oh, Aries Spears being on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he'll be like, that's what will eventually happen, and I'm not gonna uncancel this man. It was just a joke. They'll do stuff like that. But
somebody saw the sketch and they said, you're not, because I haven't. Shit, FBI ain't gonna get me looking for this sketch. I didn't go online and try to find it because
it's out there. It's probably archived.
I just took their word for it that it was disturbing. Somebody in the chat, Luke the boss, said, "Nah, it was pretty bad." Yeah. So I don't know, man.
I think that's what's gonna happen, is that nothing will come out of it because of various contract things or whatever, but it'll just further make him unhireable and unpopular. And the same for Tiffany Haddish. At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
But then Joe Rogan will come in and save the day for them. For the piece of shit comedians. That's what he often does. he did that with what's his name? Who's that asshole comedian who does nothing but shock?
Oh,
he was the whole thing where he was celebrating the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter.
Aries Spears.
Yeah. He came in and saved him. So yeah, he'll do the same thing for Aries Spears. I think that's
Aries Spears. Yeah.
Aries Spears.
Yeah. I'm not one to go out and overreact to something. I'm not one to pull out, let's cancel these people. But I mean, sometimes you just do something that's fucking weird. Like somebody said in the chat, where was the hindsight on that?
Yeah. Common sense.
Hindsight, it can't come before, it can only come after.
Where was the common sense?
Well, a good question is where was the mother? I don't know.
Downstairs,
the thing is the mother. Well, the mother, if I understand this right, the mother was friends with Tiffany Haddish. And so maybe there was some trust where, you'll take the kids and you'll do right by them, which she obviously didn't.
Yeah.
So, and the chat brought up a point. Then Joe Rogan didn't bring back Aries Spears. He just had him on.
Yeah, he just had him on. Yeah, he is not back.
No, I'm not saying like he brought him back like his career is probably, but he clearly brought him on so he could throw him a bone or something like that. So that's what he does.
Yeah, it's just some shit that makes sense to me. It's like, I'm a stupid son of a bitch. Y'all know that. I do a lot of things, and I've looked back on it. And I've been like, why did I do that? But there's some things that just, again, common sense. I guess
I mean, maybe not. I'm not a fan of either of them. I never find Tiffany Haddish funny. So that would lead me to be biased to go like, yeah, they shouldn't have been doing that. Right. But really, if I step back and just don't even think about what I feel about them, I was like, all right, somebody was trying to do something, make a skit, an edgy skit. And you see something, and if it's weird and you don't find it funny, then you're all in against it. And I was like, okay, just because I don't find it funny, personally, that doesn't make it not funny. That doesn't make it not a joke. Maybe it works for somebody. Without seeing it, I am kind of hesitant to really weigh in on how I feel about it. I mean, I know we're very right now, anything with kids is a hot button issue. You mentioned that, and everybody's quick to go like, oh, pitchforks and torches. You're done. String them up. Maybe not, or maybe just a situation that seemed like it was going to work, and then it got away from them. I don't know. But like I said, I don't know enough to know.
Yeah.
I know if you hand me a script and say, little boy in underwear rubbing oil in his shoulder, I better get the fuck out of here with this. I ain't doing that. I would know. There's a certain point where it's like, I'm not crossing this line, because if you put me in a situation, let's even take the morality out of it, which I do have sort of a moral opinion on that. I'm not getting no sketch where I got a little boy in underwear and it's done for a joke and I'm putting oil on his shoulders. Taking the morality out of that, I just think I have enough sense to know, like, this shit could come back later on and bite me in the ass.
Not saying you don't, but like I said, they were in something where they thought it was going to work.
Yeah, cameras on a little boy's butt crack and that. they thought it was gonna work. I think I would have been able to tell them, hey.
Walks into the set all right, I'm out.
Yeah. Just my opinion, but I don't think we should be doing this. But
no, Corey, it's gonna be funny. You'll see.
yeah, no, I won't, because my ass is out.
We already filmed you coming in, so you're gonna be in the final cut.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm calling the police on y'all right now. I ain't going down with this shit. It's just some shit I'd have enough sense to know I'm not doing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing when you said Tiffany Haddish knows the mom, like they had a relationship of some sort.
Yeah.
So it's easier to see why somebody would think like, no, this will be fine.
I can see on the mother's side.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me, like doing a sketch.
I know.
Yeah.
I think none of us would do that, but we aren't everybody.
Yeah. Well, I know we're not everybody, and I can see, but let me just say this. If we're not everybody, and we don't know what people are going to do, but there are some people who do things, and it's stupid. You know, I don't know what you're going to do, but I do know that thing that you are doing is probably going to be stupid. You know, but you know, you're right. You know, I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were thinking at the time.
You know, on paper, it might have made you laugh.
Martin, let me just say this. I read about that sketch. I ain't seen that sketch yet. I don't want to see it because on paper it looked fucked up. And I've done some crazy shit. But yeah, with kids, it's a tricky thing.
Oh, of course.
I think that, you know, no matter what your level of comedy or what you consider to be comedy is, there's some things that's just gonna get your ass in trouble. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck they think. And as I said earlier, I told y'all about Aries Spears. Told you. I warned y'all about this man. And look at what happened. I mean, shit, cancel this man just to get his ass out the streets. Because apparently now the kids are in danger too. Shit, how'd your kids, how'd your wife?
And you can be there and say like, I was the first one, I told you.
Yeah. Shit, I went on a... now you want to know what a rant is? My rant is what I did on Aries Spears. I got off that so-called interview. I talked to him for 2 minutes before I said, "All right, fuck you, man." I hung up. I spent an hour complaining about this yelling. You won't believe what this motherfucker did to me. Yeah, man. I just love that. Whoever wrote that description about him, sentient dust mite. Sentient dust mite. I love that. Tiffany Haddish had me kind of fucked up anyway when she said when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, she's like, I just love when a man...
That's the most romantic thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Also, filming a boy's buttocks is the most romantic.
Second most.
Yeah, man. Somebody said release the rant. It's not anything to release. It's out there, man. You can. It's on
We can't play it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that?
No. I'm not playing that sketch. Oh hell no. Now you see what I did there? I got enough sense to know not to do that.
Well, now they already got in trouble for it.
The thing is, man, I'm not coming in. Aries Spears, I might not be crazy about, but Tiffany Haddish, I judge her fairly. There's some things that she's in, man, I don't like her that much, and there's some things that she's in, I've been like, wow, she was good in that. Mm-hmm. You know, when she was in that movie with Oscar Isaac, where he was
the car counter?
The car counter. She was not good in that.
And she was not.
No. That damn Nicolas Cage movie, she was decent in that. So, you know, I try to be fair, but yeah. But yeah, y'all need, I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this. Because, you know, I don't know. You're right. Today you can never tell. That's why I know, like, cancel culture is bullshit. Because, right, we think we got, like, I never feel this way, but right when people think they got somebody out the way, they come back. They always come back. Yeah. Shit, they always come back. I ain't seen nobody get. And by the way, like I said, all these people come back. Shows get canceled. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people don't. They keep coming back. I mean,
shows get canceled. People don't.
People don't. I mean, unless you like
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. He's still making movies. They're shitty movies.
Okay.
I mean, they barely count as movies.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like he's the one that I can think of. I mean, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's jail.
I mean, there's a certain.
Once you rape,
there's a certain level that you
Sure.
cross. Yeah, once you break the law, you know.
Yeah, they'll do it.
And even then. Yeah.